What's up, old card shoppers? It's Josh from, the old card shop here. I'm your shopkeeper, and today we're going to be talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, Magic the Gathering. This is one of the, I will say, premier TCGs of the world, so I'm sure if you're here, you've probably heard about this. But it's been around since the 90s. One of my favorite card games because I've been playing it since the 90s, once I was a wee child, and I really have grown to love this game. So more than anything, I associate this particular card game as a game. Some card games like Pokemon are typically more thought of as a collectible, or I don't know, these days the term investment gets thrown out a lot. But Magic for me has always, and mostly has always, been a game. So these cards that are laid out in front of you, as you can see here, some of my favorites. These are actually all of my generals for my EDH or commanders. For you new kids playing the Commander series, actually that's the term most of you should probably know. I say generals because I associate these cards with a game or format called EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander, that has now been renamed Commander. So you may hear me calling it EDH, but what I really mean is Commander, and that's what I should be saying. So these commanders, we'll call them, are all generals or representations of different colors of the Magic game here. So I have actually, with this set, I have one of every single representation out of the monocolors, or the red, blue, black, green, white, the 5 original main colors of Magic. One of each of the dual color generals. It's about 10 of them here. A 5-color general, the Sliver Queen, which is one of my favorites to incorporate all 5 colors, and a general called Karn, who is a artifact, which is no colors. And so with these decks, it represents to me a complete, and we'll say somewhat balanced, representation of the entire game of Magic. So I also have these in, now just a moment. All right, we're back. Okay, so this is where these decks are actually stored. And so as you can see, I've got a nice big box here. It's a beautiful box I use for storing these cards, but there are just about 17 decks here. There should be 17 decks. There's, I believe, let's see, 12 in this one, but there should be there's another one here, so there's the remainder in the second. You can't just all keep it in one. So this particular storage facility is something that works well for me. A lot of people use binders, but since these are actually decks, I find that I need to store them like decks. So this is kind of how they go. Each one of these is a different color, and it's an EDH deck, so all right, and we're back. Here we go. This is where these Commander or EDH, whatever you'd like to call them, decks are stored. This is where I like to store them, at least. The best thing about this format is, to me, it gives me a nice way to play the game casually with friends when they come over, having all of these decks built out. I stopped playing the game around Lorwyn, which was around 2008, 2009. That's when I sort of stopped, I don't want to say stopped playing, but I stopped buying cards. And so these decks all only contain cards from Lorwyn block or before. So they're all considered vintage and are laden with these fantastic and fun, iconic cards from the early years of Magic. Times when I played and a lot of my friends played. So whenever we can kind of get together again, we look forward to sitting back around a table and playing with some of these decks because they're super nostalgic. So best thing about EDH, though, is as a format, it's you're only allowed to run one of any particular card in your deck. So so these decks, you're forced to be really, we'll call it creative with some of your design. And so, man, these sleeves need to be replaced. These are really, really old. But a lot of these decks here are laden with reserve list cards, which are these days exploding in price. So I really do need to keep better care of these with the new sleeves. These are some well-loved sleeves. But the best thing about these decks is when I do get some new cards to add to my collection, I can just throw it in my deck and find the perfect deck to suit that card, and it can live in my collection in a usable deck that I'll sometime again allegedly be able to use. So that's one of the nice things about reserve list cards that I pick up and want to just hold on to and put into my collection. I can actually find a use for them by putting them into my EDH deck. So let's go ahead and get out something else here. This is going to be a video about collecting, and speaking of EDH, this newest set that just came out, the Commander's Legends set. That's a set that I've been collecting pretty hardcore recently. Well, I don't know about hardcore. I haven't bought any of the product, but I have bought singles. So what I love about the set is it has a subset within it of cards that are hollow and etched and foiled and super premium. And I just feel like they're really, really neat. And they're all legendary creatures. Each one of the cards in the set is a legendary creature. So there are, I think, 101 cards in the subset. And so I'm trying to just get one of each of them, put them in the binder. Looks really nice. I feel like they're too new to put into any of my EDH decks, but they're all really cool. And I do think that they're a nice little piece to have in the binder. So that's what I've been buying singles of, and as you can see, I've almost completed the set there. Next, we're getting into some reserve list cards here. I just started keeping these extras in the binder. I used to have them in a box, you know, in the sleeve in a box, but I feel like having these in a binder is a little nicer. So they're a little bit sparse, but as I collect more and as I'm able to pick more out of my collection, that's one of my favorites. Tolarian Academy, one of my favorite cards. As I add more to my collection, this binder will grow. So I sort of just wanted to do this video to put something out to include you guys in my little collecting journey here. It's one of my favorite binders, speaking of which I should probably review these binders at some point. These are Dex Protection binders, and they're beautiful. They have the side-loading sleeves, zippers, nice exterior, really, really solid protection for your cards, and it looks great on a shelf. But I did want to do this video just to kind of check back in and talk about some of the things I'm collecting. Since I've been ordering a lot of these Commander Legends cards, I have a lot of extras laying around because, you know, I order them late at night on TCG Player, and at times they sell out. Other times I order a few extras and, you know, end up having a couple left behind. But thanks for coming in. I think I'll end the video here. This will just be one of the many Magic the Gathering collection videos I make. I do want to go a little bit more in depth into those EDH decks if there's at least any interest in those. Those are sort of my pride and joy of my collection, and they definitely are something I love talking about. So if anyone's interested in these EDH decks, I may do a little bit more of a series where I go into what's in those decks and lay them out here. But we'll see what kind of interest that has. Well, have a good one, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Please like and subscribe, and make sure to come on back, and we'll update you some more on what's going on with the shop. We're still working on the website, still kind of a work in progress here, but I will definitely let you know once that actually does go live. But for now, just keep an eye on the YouTube, and thanks for coming. Have a nice one. Bye.